All right, I'm going to get us all started and then be letting in people as we go. So, guys, thank you for joining us. Super excited because JJ is somebody I've known for a long time just by reputation, but I actually got a chance to meet him earlier this year, and sure enough, he is as good as I thought he was. So it's funny because I always say in our industry, there's so many loans out there. It's so big that I've never felt like there was competition, right? Even friends of mine that are in my hometown, never once have I even had to go up against them. It's never been a big deal. And I always thought, of course, I was better than everybody, right? So I always was doing my thing. And I remember, I'm going to tell this quick story about JJ because I kept saying I can close loans in 15 days and I will personally pay the seller $250 per day if I'm late. And that was my thing. And it was working for me. And I remember every time I thought I got aggressive, this guy JJ that I didn't know, but I knew he was from around here, would step in with like 14-day close. And instead of 250, he was like at 500. And then I don't know where he ended up, but every time I was like, now how the hell does this guy keep doing it? And I know he wasn't doing it to beat me. He was just getting more and more aggressive because that's what he wanted to do to grow his business. And out of, I would say, everybody in Orange County, it was the one consistent name that I heard all the time. And that's how I got to know JJ. So when I started my podcast, I asked him to come on so I can get to know him better. And gosh, guys, he does not take prisoners and he does not allow for any kind of weakness. He just goes all the time. So I love his story, but here's JJ. I'm going to introduce him and let him take over because he's going to teach us today on how to be $100 million producers.
Hey, thanks, brother. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on here. Thanks, everybody, for jumping on. I love doing this stuff. It fills my cup, paying it forward and just giving you guys some of the tactics. Dino does a great job with his podcast. If you guys don't follow it, please do. He has some really great conversations on there as well. My goal is to give you guys at least one or two things to integrate into your business that you guys can use to increase production. That's the whole goal of this call. So I'm going to give you guys probably an elephant, and you got to take 2 or 3 bites of that elephant. Here's the deal. I would tell you that before I was a $100 million producer, how it worked was I was a bankrupt internet loan officer that did subprime refinances. And I was really good at it until 2009, 2010 happened. And it was the worst job in the United States of America. Something you're probably embarrassed to even say that you did. And so I had to retool my entire business. I had to go from subprime to agency. I had to go from refinance to purchase. I had to go from consumer direct internet leads to referral based face-to-face leads. And I'm not that guy. I looked a lot younger. I acted a lot younger. I was super insecure in meeting people, but I was given some tools and some systems and some structures. And over the years, these things have evolved. And so I'm going to share with you what we use, some of these tools that impact elite coaching. I'm actually going to be teaching these at one of our sales rallies as well. I thought this is the perfect time to do it. So I'm going to share my screen real quick. And then this is probably, actually, can you turn me on? And then I'll share my screen and we can get going on it. This is probably the most difficult part of the entire day. And if we get this done, then we're golden. So, view. Cool. You guys see that okay? I guess that works good enough, right? Perfect. First things first, everyone pull out their cell phones, scan that QR code. By the time you get off this call, you guys are going to fill that out. And this is the pyramid of progress. Everyone loves to start at the top of the sphere. Everyone loves to start with the scaling part. And they want to make all the money, but they don't know how to have a team. So really the foundation of the pyramid of progress. This will give you guys prompts and questions. We created this because we found it to be very helpful and insightful to tell you where in your business you need to work on the most. We believe that you need to have work-life integration as the foundation of everything. Otherwise, you'll end up like me, alcoholic, terrible father at the time, only thinking about making money to survive to feed my family. That was a version of me, not who I am, but a version of me. Why? Just living out of fear and I was just confused about the things that mattered most. So having that as your foundation first, you can build upon it. The next, you need leads. If you can't generate leads, you're not going to go anywhere. And if you are generating leads, then you need to know how to sell and convert those leads before you could ever build a team and create processes around it. So I was a one-man show for a long time. And I was pretty good at being a one-man show, but I had lead conversion and lead generation mastered before I ever started building a team, because building a team and its processes come with its own set of issues. And then you can learn about mastering money and how to leverage so that you can scale. I think everyone wants to go to the top of the spear, so to speak. And I, think this will be a huge help for you guys. So enjoy, see what it tells you. And the whole goal is just to improve in each and every area that you can. I would like to say that I was probably a 1 in all of these things, and I'm in a much better position now. So feel free to just take it as many times as you want, but that'll be a huge help. So let's start with steps to building a badass purchase business. All right. Whether it's 100 million, 50 million, 20 million. All right. For me, I've averaged 100 million plus production for, I don't know, 15 years or so. So that's why I put 100 million on there. I happen to live in a nice area with nice loan amounts, but it's all relative, right? So there are 6 steps to this process. Number 1 is you're going to identify the talent. Number 2 is you need to make initial contact. Number 3 is you need to get on a level of the pyramid, which I will show you. Number 4 is you need to run the AE account strategy and make an appointment, and I'll share that with all of you as well. Then you have to program them to increase percentage of business and market to them forever. This is the play that we run over and over and over again. And what's great is once you learn those different levels of the pyramid, all you need to do is focus on 2 and 3, 2 and 3, 2 and 3, over and over and over again. So that's what I do love about this is scalable, and then this can be just for the single loan officer as well. So who to add? So when we're building our list, I remember for me, it was anyone that could fog a mirror. And people ask that to me now. I have about 200 real estate agents that refer me consistently every single year leads. And I need that amount because unfortunately, the benefits to having higher loan amount and purchase prices, the lack of benefit is the real estate agents only need to do 2 and 4 deals. And then they have, maybe a spouse that works as well, and they're done for the year. That does not fare well for those of us that need more closings. So every listing agent on your purchase transaction last year, for me, I attacked the listing agents. Now, open houses are an amazing place to grow your business. Once you get to about 10 closings every single month, you can segue to just attacking the listing agent, which is what our Tuesday updates and attacking the listing agents are going to do. So first, any of your past listing agents, then every Tuesday going forward, you're going to be adding those listing agents and attacking them. The third are current agents, asking them to introduce you to 3 agents that are like them. So I'd be like, hey, Dino, you know what, buddy? You're one of my favorite realtors to work with, but I only want to work with realtors that are like you. Do you think that maybe you can, set up a lunch with 2 or 3 of your favorite people that are like you in this business and colleagues, so we can sit down and I can share some of the benefits that you find working with me with them? And again, they'll set that appointment. Pretty easy, low-hanging fruit. And I think a lot of people miss the boat on that. Rainmaker prospect wish list. So these are the people that can make it rain. So think of these as whales, big dogs, people that you are too afraid to call. Most people are. No one calls them. They are a lot easier to get than most people think, but sometimes they do take some time to do it. I think I work with 2 or 3 of the top 3 agents exclusively in my area. So if you pound on them, sooner or later they'll bust. The next, you're going to add agents that your buyers are working with currently. So for those of you that aren't working with real estate agents, or you have a buyer or a consumer and you're getting in front of those agents that they're working with, it's imperative that you get in a great relationship with them quickly, because otherwise they're going to refer you out to their number 1 referral partner. So it gives them an opportunity to see what you're all about, but you got to wow them right out the gate. Then any agents in your community, man, I would get all those agent magazines that you could get at the car wash. And hey, if they're spending money in those magazines, so you got 2, you can tell when the brokers are spending money and they can tell when the people are spending money. Anytime I would see people in there that I can tell they were spending money, especially in a down market, those are the people I'm going to attack. Typically, you're going to do well. And obviously, listen, you can do MMI and check out what their production is and all that stuff. But let me just tell you, dude, you're not going to do yourself a service Just because they close a lot doesn't mean they refer well. And just because they don't close a lot doesn't mean they can't refer well. So keep that in mind. I just need my unpaid salespeople, which are my real estate referral partners, to be able to referring me any chance they can. The next is teaching agents like CE classes, educational classes. This is my jam. I'm doing 2 today. So I did one at a broker's office, and I have another one with 75 agents later this afternoon. I do probably 2 to 4 of these a week. I love it because it's one too many, and I can get instant leads teaching these classes. And then open houses. It's a no-brainer. For those of you that don't like open houses, join the club. No one really likes open houses, but they're sitting ducks. They're working, they're grinding, they have great work ethic if they're sitting in those open houses. So those are the people that you need to be adding to your repertoire. They're the ones getting the leads and in front of the buyer. So just, man, I used to drag my kids around to those things all the time. And again, if you're not doing 10 transactions a month, you should be doing 10 open houses a week. It's super easy. Now you can like literally pull it up in like Zillow and Redfin, drop it into chat. Chat will give you the best route from where you're going to where you start and where you end, and tell you how to get there. I mean, it just doesn't get any easier. So this is where you're going to add. As you can see, there's no shortage of places to add to grab them, or you could just randomly use one of the programs MMI to do it. But I like to have a little warmer of a lead, and this is a great place to start for that. There are 4 levels of an agent relationship. Those of you that think that you're the only level is the top one, which is the primary one, I am telling you that is not the case. All of your agents cheat on you all the time. They're using somebody else for some other reason, and that's just the reality. The sooner you know where you stand as far as the levels of agent relationships, the better off you're going to be. So primary level, you're their go-to lenders. They push over anyone that they possibly can your way. If we're up to them, they do every single deal. The next one is a business level. So you're doing joint marketing together, you prospect together, you share business ideas, book strategies, etc. You're working at a business level. And then you have your program, your product level. They know you're an expert in some sort of category, down payment assistance, VA, FHA, whatever that may be, and they use you for those things. And then the fourth is your backup level. When a deal goes bad, if they need a second opinion, that is typically where we start. We start as a backup level. Then they learn what you're good at. For me, again, it was quick closes. Then they start doing quick closes. And then we start, hey, let's do some marketing together. I'm not afraid to be seen in public by you. And then next is that primary level. I would argue you need to be marketing to all of these different levels of real estate agents. Understand that we want to be in deep relationship. And those of you that are really deep relationship people, I am sorry. It's just not like, let's be honest. If 200 people gave you 1 transaction a year, would you be good with that? Yes, we'd all be good with that. So what that takes is you have to understand and be more strategic about who it is you're helping on a strategic level from relationship and who is transactional, and be able to talk to them. And so we'll go a little bit deeper on that. So once I really start identifying and understanding what level of agents they are in, and here's the deal. If you are curious about your current agents and where you stand, ask them. They will tell you. And then ask them twice. And then they will give you the honest answer. So definitely and this is a good time of year to do it, because if you're planning for fourth quarter like I am right now, it's good to know where your people stand. Now, there's facts and there's feelings. I don't deal with feelings. I deal with facts. I leave feelings for like my girls, my wife, death, loss, those type of things. Great for feelings. Maybe a good, like maybe The Notebook. That's good for feelings. That's a good movie. But everything else that has to do with finances and money should be data driven. So we use this to track our clients. So you can see this is what we call an accounts pyramid. The goal is to have as many in the top of the pyramid as possible. The channel accounts are at the top. Those are your VIPs. They're on track to close about 12 transactions with you a year. Call it about 1 transaction per month. The green second level, those are your accounts. They close about 1 transaction per quarter. Then you have your top 50, which is about 3 closed deals that you've ever closed with them ever in a running 12 months, and they refer you leads. And then the top 50 are leads. So you got top 50 closing, top 50 leads. They're not quite at that account level yet. And a lot of the people you're going to have a lot of the people in the top 15 closings and a lot of in the top 50 leads. And when you do this, you're going to get all depressed because the accounts are thin and the channel accounts are really thin because you feel like people are channel accounts. You treat them like they're channel accounts, but they're not acting like your channel account. And that's the whole point to this. So really identifying, and you should be looking at this every first Friday of every single month, we track. And I know how many leads that I got from them, how many list sides, how many buy sides they had, and how many closings. So I track all of it so that I know what my capture percentage is of the business, because that's going to tell me what kind of conversation I need to have with them, which is like, hey, Dino, man, I saw you gave me 10 leads, but we only closed one of them. Why don't we sit down and strategize about how we can capture more of these people, especially if I see they close those deals or close them with somebody else. So it could be how you're being referred, it could be how you're following up, or you could be doing an amazing job. So you won't know unless you look at the data and analyze the data. So we need to track every agent, because otherwise we're just going to be spraying and praying. And spraying and praying is great, but that's for the greater mass of people. And then you get lucky and you get some of those deals, but that isn't great for strategic business tracking. Now, when we're calling these people and we're speaking to any of them on any of the levels, there is an art to programming. So I want you guys to understand, like when I want to program something, there's something called the reticular activator right here in the brain. And when that turns on, it's that same thing when you ever buy a new car, or you start looking at a new car and suddenly you see that car everywhere as soon as you start shopping for it. That's because the reticular activator, and you're like, man, everyone's buying my car. No, everyone's not buying your car. You're just now noticing everywhere where that car is. So this works really well in programming your salespeople. And again, your referral partners are unpaid salespeople. We're not legally allowed to pay them. We don't really want to pay them. They got their job. We got our job. But our job is to get them to go and sell us. So just a reminder, when you're rushing, it makes you feel too busy. When you're low energy, it makes you seem overwhelmed. When you don't acknowledge leads or pre-approvals, it seems as though you're disengaged. And when you don't thank them for the business, you're ungrateful. And if you didn't program them on a reason to refer, you're just another lender. So closing on time and smooth, if that is your go-to and you're experienced and you care about the clients and you really want to help people, that's your job. Stop using that as your value add. It is no value. And unfortunately, people tend to do that. So when you take your time, it shows you have capacity, you have high energy, you're motivated. When you're strategized about leads and pre-approvals, you want to help them win. When you thank them, you're grateful. And when you program them with the reason to refer, it creates separation from the competition. So making sure, like literally before you get on, that you cover all of these. You need to be in the mind where you're not rushing too much. And listen, I've been all or one of these or one of these on any given call. This is a great reminder to literally print and put with you before you make a single phone call, because it's going to increase your ability to connect and convert those leads themselves. So what are we going to talk about when we call them? So how can we help them convert more of them? We thank them and acknowledge them. We give them an update on the status of a lead. We don't pre-approve without docs, by the way, but we're giving them an update on the status. We ask them about the source. This helps us know that they're committed and how hard that we want to push the agent back to them. So like making sure that we ask them about the source and where it came from. Ask them about their status and with the client. Did they meet? Are they actively showing homes? Is this a rush? Do they know about the client's timeline? Search area, the size of the home, the bedroom count. Do they have one? Has the price point been discussed? And programming them. We will contact the lead 7 times at very minimum. Who else can we be following up with for you? So here's the point to this, right? As I kind of overviewed, ask more questions. Ask more questions and set expectations. I will tell you, we have a 25 touch follow-up plan for the first week. That's emails, that's texts, that's calls twice a day, that's messages every single day, because we don't know if morning's good, if evening's good. We don't know if they prefer text or if they prefer email or if they prefer voice messages, and you don't know when you're going to get them. So there's a cadence to it, but the fortune's in the follow-up, and it needs to be at least 7 times, because that increases the chance most deals are accepted after the 7th time of being attempted. So I would say more, but 7 is at the very, very minimum. So when you're calling these people, you're going to talk to them about the leads that they have with you. But let's say they don't have any leads with you. So there's one conversation. The next conversation is talking to them about pre-approvals they have with you. So again, this is being organized, having your leads ready. If you don't have leads necessarily active, then great, pre-approvals. Does the price point work? Do you want to push it more? Maybe the rates have adjusted. We need to increase that pre-approval letter. So when rates had come down most recently, if you had 100 pre-approvals, that's 100 pre-approvals that you need to update and make sure you're maximizing right now. Programming. Other agents use us for second opinions. Next time you have a client who is priced out, connect with us. So again, if we look back on, I spoke about, I program them. We follow up on leads a lot. Who else can we follow up with for you? Again, I'm turning on the Reticular Activator. On pre-approvals, a lot of agents use us for clients that need a super fast close. Next time you have one, would you connect us? So again, I'm programming them so that when they run into someone, or when they run into a situation, they start thinking of me, but they won't do that unless it is I program them to do that. So the other thing is, let's say you don't have any leads. Let's say you don't have any pre-approvals. Again, who do we talk to? When do we talk to them? And what do we talk to them about? And the last would be a go-to conversation. This eliminates the fear of making a call to them. And you can write this on the top of your list. You can put it on a sticky note so that you literally don't have to think about anything else. So maybe it's an industry update. Maybe it's a loan program, a sales tactic, follow up on a video, an underwriting guideline change, team update. We specialize in credit repair, condos. I mean, pick something for that week. So what I do is I email it to all my LOs every single week. This is your go-to conversation. And I email it to my realtors. So my realtors have a go-to conversation. My LOs have a go-to conversation with their realtors. I don't want them thinking about it, because if they think about it, then they just go, I don't know what to talk about. I make sure that it's something of value, and I've already chosen it the week before. So I already know what my go-to conversation is for next week because I choose it on Thursday, and I know that's the email that's going out. And so then it also allows me, hey, I don't know if you got the email, but we just had this awesome, we're going to be doing an early bird special on the Fannie Mae loan limits. So that's going to help a lot of people that don't have the full down payment on a jumbo or qualify for a jumbo loan get into homes. Who do you have right now that we can talk to that might be fitting into this area? Again, programming them. So there's plenty of things to talk about. And then my favorite thing, which is the last, which is inviting them to something. A happy hour, a lunch, a dinner, a breakfast, an office tour, a educational event that we spoke about earlier. I am going to invite them to something. So if you look at my call sheet, I'll typically have the go-to conversation. So I'm going to use early bird loan limits. And then I had fourth quarter push, which is what I'm teaching today. That's what I spoke about this past week. Hey, this is the product. This is what I'd love to have you come to. And it's just an easy conversation. I don't even feel like I have to, from week to week, feel like I'm calling with anything that doesn't add value. I'm always adding value. And then, of course, if I do have pre-approvals and leads with them, I have that printed out, or I have my CRM up. I can literally just type it in, pull it up. And again, now I am giving value. Hey, I'm on top of my leads. Hey, here's the follow-up. Hey, is there any more business? Hey, here's a go-to conversation. Do you know anyone that could fit into this? Hey, would you like to come to this value add that I have next week? So again, just being really prepared and really targeted and prepared is going to make a big, big difference. How do you make so many darn calls? Use Phone Burner. All right. You can use Phone Burner, and there's all kinds of different dialing options, but Phone Burner, I like it because it allows you to organize it in your phone. But for me, honestly, I will also say you need to make sure you remove distractions. I literally print out an old school piece of paper with my agents on it. I write the conversation at the top I'm going to have with all of them. And then I drive down to Dana Point Harbor, which is a little harbor down here. I face the water because it's pretty to look at. And I sit in my truck, and all the people are in my phone. And I just say, hey, Siri, dial so-and-so. Hey, Siri, dial so-and-so. And I find that I don't have distractions, and I'm able to go through it pretty quickly. So no excuse. If you have Phone Burner, great. You can load them all up. If you don't have Phone Burner, then you can use your iPhone, but there's no excuse for it. You want 4-hour sessions, 3 days a week, 12 total hours per week. And that is, by the way, that is weak, but I'm just throwing that out there that you should at least do that. And then that should result in about 100 to 200 agent calls per week. Those of you that have teams, My team is calling 50 agents per week. So if you want to know why you're not able to gain ground in my neck of the woods, I'm calling 300 to 400 real estate agents with value adds, with invitations and updates, making sure that I'm programming them hundreds of times. So that's the key, is to make sure that you're doing those things. Now, when I came into this first town, when I came and I was bankrupt, I competed against my competitor, Ryan Grant. Really, really great dude. Couldn't be any different than me. Like, he is put together, college guy, super intelligent. I am not any of those things. And I'm proud of that. I am totally fine being in my space. But I was able to, when I got into the space, he had already had a book of business. He was number one. He had all these agents. I had none. I was just fresh out of bankruptcy. But I used these strategies and I beat him and went into first place, number one in Orange County in my area, in less than 2 years doing that. So there is something to say outworking people. Now, inevitably, he outsmarted me in a few different ways, but still a great friend of mine. I still collaborate in those areas. But my point is, you can be smart and work extra hard, use these strategies and be smart, execute the strategies consistently over time, and you will work hard. And then if you add accountability behind them, like I do, to make sure I'm held accountable to these things, then you will 10x your business. So Mondays, you can call channel accounts, 50 accounts, your top 80 list. Those are your big people. Tuesdays, you're going to call every Tuesday and update your realtor partners. You're going to update your escrow companies, and you're going to update the listing agents. And then you're going to ask for the business. And Wednesdays, you got 180 prospect agents to be calling after. You're going to be calling a lot of agents, but again, there's no money in doing loans. There's only money in getting loans. Doing loans can easily be handed to somebody else for a fraction of the price. I pay underwriters about $80,000 a year plus bonuses. Those people know loans really well, better than us, I would argue. They're really, really good. They do lots of them. So when I realized that, I was like, man, I really don't want to do loans. I just want to go get loans. This is my motivation to stay on here. And this is what makes a $100 million producer a seven-figure producer, is the consistency. Now, you don't know how everyone wants to communicate. So you have to do a weekly video. You have to do a monthly mailer. You can do that email. You have to do a monthly mastermind. Doing a monthly podcast like Dino does is super smart. Doing a book each quarter and sending out a book every single quarter. A really good book, by the way, is Perseverance Principles. You should all buy those for your real estate agents and send them out. It's a really, really good one. But my point is, again, it gives you something to follow up on. Hey, did you get the book? Another one that I sent, which one was it? Exactly What to Say for Realtors. That's a great one. You can send that out. And then I would do a follow-up call. And then I could do a class around it. So again, the whole goal is to learn, master it, then you teach it. So learn it, do it, teach it. Learn it, do it, teach it. Learn it, do it, teach it. The more you can learn, the more you can do it, master it, and then then teach it. That's how you become valuable, because then you are teaching people how to fish, and that's what's going to really, really set you apart from everybody else. So here's the numbers. How many agents will you get? One agent averages about 0.1875 of a closing per month over the course of 12 months. Isn't that depressing, everybody? It is a numbers game, and that doesn't lie. I have done that. My business partners that I have, one of my business partners is number one loan officer in Washington. Another one is top in Texas. It don't matter where you pull these things, but this is about on average. So 10 agents equal about 0.875 average deals per month. 50 agents, about 9 average deals per month. 100 agents, about 18.75. And then obviously you can do the math from there and figure out how many agents you need. This is probably why some of you are like, the only problem you have is you don't have enough agents. You don't have enough referring partners. And I don't care. You can use a strategy for financial planners. You can use it for CPAs. You can use it divorce attorneys, probate attorneys. I don't care how you use it, HR departments, people that can refer you multiple people to get deals done. But at the end of the day, you need more relationships to get more leads. Or you can spend a boatload of money and spend on internet leads and close 1%. But referred leads close 20%. That's 20% lead to fund ratio. 25 to 20% is what these are going to close at, versus internet leads at 1%, 2% at best. Because again, I worked with the first inventor of the internet lead, Doug Lebda. He faxed those leads to us out of his garage. And what he learned to become a billionaire is the goal of a lead generation company isn't so that we can convert high. It is to sell that lead to as many people for as much money as possible. I'll repeat that. Leads are to sell it to as many people for as much money as possible. If you all owned a lead company, you would realize you're like, okay, how do we sell this to as many people for as much as possible once you flip that switch? So when I realized that I was never going to get a lead generation company that long-term cared about me converting, that it was going to be relationship only, that's where I had to change my business, also out of survival as well. Um, so there it is in the box, everybody. I work hard on spitting that out. If you guys want more on coaching, we have an amazing community. We do have a waiting list for parts of that community, but you guys can get plenty of information on there. And then feel free to follow me at Instagram. But please take that pyramid of progress. I think that is going to be a really fun exercise. I know it was for me. And then something that we use with our students to really gauge them where they are versus where they think they are, and how they're improving versus how they think they're improving when they're going through those questions. So, Dino, thanks for having me, brother. I know that was a lot to spit out, everybody, but hopefully I kind of segmented this thing together, and I guess I can open it up for any questions that you guys have.
Yeah, JJ, actually, before we start on the questions, I bought 10 of your books.
Thank you.
I'm gonna keep one. I'm gonna give 9 away here today. So what I want to ask everybody is if you want to put up a picture of, I think probably the first screen from your presentation. And if you guys are ready with your phones, take a picture, post it on Instagram, and the first 9 people to do it get a free book. Make sure you tag me, Dino Katsimatis, and JJ. Do you want to get tagged, or you want your book, or how do you want
Yeah,
to?
sure, buddy. You can tag me in there. JJ Mazzo _.
There you go.
It's launch day today, everybody. So we've been working hard in the pre-sales.
Nice. When do we actually get the books?
They ship today, so you should be getting them pretty quick. I mean, they're at Amazon, Target, Barnes and Noble. I mean, they're all ready to go out and ship, so they're in stock there. And what's cool, everybody, is like a lot of my story is in here, so you'll learn and read a little bit more in intimate detail about my walk through the crash, what that looked like before it, after it, and the processes of perseverance that I used to get out of it and where I am today. So I hope you guys, I mean, whether you're a real estate agent, a loan officer, or anyone in business, it's something I feel everyone can use.
Okay, cool. I have a few questions.
Yeah,
So the CE classes that you teach,
yeah.
you do that. I'm assuming that's a year, like a timely thing, right? Because it's towards the end of the year, or is that all year
I
long?
honestly, CE classes are great for like, for those of you that are like concerned about like presenting and adding value, then CE classes are easy, right? Because you can go in there and it's like, it's actual value. I don't do CE classes anymore. I only do classes where I teach lead generation, lead conversion, fourth quarter push tactics. I'll do business planning next month. So, we get anywhere between 75 and 100 agents, and we do them twice a month in those classes. So what I learned is that you just need to provide solid value. If you can provide solid value, it doesn't matter what you teach, but it should be around lead generation and lead conversion.
And can you give us advice on how to get into those classes to actually get that gig?
Well, I hold my own. So I find it's bang for buck. So you can, if you're part of a country club, then awesome. If you're not part of a country club, you can do a restaurant. You can do them at your office as well. I don't recommend doing them at the office because realtors sometimes don't want to go to somebody else's territory if they're not working for you, and it's not as fun. So, I think there's plenty of restaurants you can go to. You can also Orange County, or not Orange County, but your Realtors Association. So a lot of times they're going to have opportunities where you can use their facilities, or just asking them any opportunities that you have to teach classes. When you go, you can actually go through a process where you can give them the classes you want to teach. They'll put them in front of their educational board, they'll clear them, and then allow you to go in there and teach those classes as well. So all of those are viable options for the CE class stuff.
Okay.
Great question.
And then in the group chat, we got Mark's asking, what do you say to a realtor when you cold call them for the first time?
All right, so here this is literally the magic trick. Okay, so here's what I need you all to buy in that you could all make realtors $100,000 extra a year. Okay, that is a fact. Every single one of you can. Now, some of you are going to have a hard time believing that. So I am going to give you the reasons on how it is that you can add a client to make $100,000 a year. So where I'm at, the average commission is about $32,000 commission. So to make $100,000 a year, they need to get another 3 or 4 transactions. So number one, I track all my leads. And when I say so if you have a lead tracker, which is something that we use in Impact, I track all my leads. I know my conversions from lead to application, from lead to pre-approval, pre-approval to close, lead to fund. Most loan officers don't. In fact, 99% of them don't. So I can easily say, well, what do your loan officers, typically convert your leads at now? Well, I don't know. Well, I can tell you what the average loan officer does, and I can show you what I do. And typically, I'm going to convert double that of whoever it is that they're referring to. So right there, right alone, I can show them my data that proves that I can close twice as many transactions with the same leads that their current loan officers. So that's number one, tracking your leads and showing them your follow-up system, where I have a 25-touch follow-up system. Just having a system in place makes a big, big difference. The other is getting the offers accepted. So I do a quick close guarantee. I also have the reputation. So reputation does matter, so that the listing agents accept your offer because they're working with you. So those of you that have great reputations in your area, those of you that are also out there have some sort of a closing guarantee behind it, I can show them how that increases their chance of getting their offers accepted, and can also increase the amount of deals they're closing. The other thing is we ask and get leads for them. So we have what we call a current client referral follow-up. So every single time we're talking to one of those leads they referred us, we're programming them to give us more leads. So I would say, hey, listen, Dino is amazing realtor. How did you meet Dino? And they're going to tell me, oh, Dino, I met him, and he's my cousin's sister's father. Oh my gosh. Well, he's amazing. You're lucky to work with one of the best agents out there. Now, Dino, I don't know if he told you, he's probably too humble to tell you, because that's the kind of guy he is. But also, he only feeds his family off of referrals. So if it's okay, I just want to ask a favor from him. If he's just knocking it out of the park, like I know he does, do you think before we close that you can give me the name of at least 2 people that shouldn't be renting, that should be buying another home, so that we can surprise him with a couple more referrals and see if we can't help him feed his family? That is what we're going to do on every single call, every single time. And then we get those leads, we hand those leads back to those realtors. And if you're doing it consistently, you're going to be able to get. So again, you start adding all of those up, easily 100,000. Not to mention, I do these classes where I'm teaching the realtors the tactics I'm teaching you, except I teach the realtors how to go out and get it with their business partners, CPAs, divorce attorneys, etc. And I have a lot of realtors that get a ton of success. Once it is that I show them how to go fish instead of fishing for them, again, I'm adding hundreds of thousands of dollars of business. So I gave you guys some examples. You have to pick which ones are yours that you feel convicted about, and then you call the realtor. Ring, ring. Hey, Dino, it's JJ. I've heard amazing things about you. Honor, 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 honor. Best realtor ever. Cutest realtor ever. Oh my gosh, I'm so grateful to be in your presence. So honor at the front. And then I'm going to say, listen, I know that you're super busy. I know that you have another realtor, another loan officer you work with. And I know you probably have a backup loan officer that you work with that you love. I only want to spend about 10 or 15 minutes to show you how I'm helping my realtors make another $100,000 per year. And if we interview each other and we don't find that that's a value whatsoever, then I'll never call you again. But I'm confident that I can show you how I do that with other top producers in your area. And I would just like a seat on your bench. So that is the conversation. So you start with honor, then you follow up honor with objections. You see, if I put out every objection that they're going to say, then they're not going to have any objections, because I said them all already. And I've heard all of them. They're all the same shit. So you put out the objections, and then I am going to dangle the carrot. And then they're going to say, well, JJ, why don't you just email them over to me, or tell me how? And I go, listen, Dino, I just told you I was going to make you $100,000 more per year. Would that be something that I would just email to you? And if we're going to be business partners, why don't we make sure that we like each other first? And if we like each other, you interview me, I interview you. That's scarcity, guys. Then if we want to do it, then I'm going to email you all kinds of stuff and give you all kinds of stuff, but I'm not going to hand you my tricks to the trade. I work with some of your competitors. So I want to work with you so that it's going to be an even playing field, because right now, I promise you what I have, it's not an even playing field. Now I promote fear, and then they want to know what it is. And I go, listen, worst case scenario, 15 minutes of your time, you get a free coffee. Best case scenario, 15 minutes, I show you how I'm going to make you 100 grand. Do you really think you could pass up 15 minutes for 100 grand? I know I wouldn't. Okay, so then you go for the close. So I gave you the format in which I use, again, over and over again. Why is it that I sound so fluent in it? Because it's the same conversation I have thousands and thousands and thousands of time. They have the same damn objections since the beginning of time. They never come up with anything new or different. And sooner or later it works. And if they tell me, like, I don't need to do more deals, awesome, that's not my guy. Or I don't like you. Okay, that's not my guy either. So again, it is a sifting process as well, but that's the format that you all can use to support it.
JJ, Mike Menino's asking, what is your strategy for staying top of mind and extracting referrals from past clients?
Awesome. So just staying top of mind with past clients. Love this. So I do pillar videos every single week. So think of these pillars. You have current clients, past clients, referral partners. Okay. And then I have loan officers in there as well. But current client, past clients, referral partners are all going to have a different conversation, right? Like your current clients are, hey, I'm going to keep you motivated to stay pre-approved and shop for a house. My referral partners are, hey, I'm going to keep you motivated in referring me and doing your job. And then past clients is, hey, I'm going to keep you motivated to show you that I really care, know, like, and trust you, and want to make sure that you always call me first, right? So with my past clients, I'm going to do a specific video to them that is going to talk about something. Maybe it's about refinancing. Maybe it's about buying a second home, becoming an investor, something that is going to benefit a past client. Maybe how to get their children in a home. That's a big one. First home IQ is something that I'm passionate about, educating young children on how to buy a darn house. Our kids are lucky. We weren't as lucky. So I think we can help there. So having that, doing text messages, we're also do client appreciation parties 2 times a year. We're also sending letters of the heart. So I will send letters of the heart and evidence of success. So sending something once a month that shows this is why you trust me, and then something once a month, every other month, that says this is why you know and like me. So maybe something's going to be about me and my family and my kids, and then something's going to show them a little bit more specific about maybe I closed in 10 days and I'll pick my best testimonial of the clients. That's just constantly being in front of them. So they're getting a mailing every single month, whether it's an email or not. They're getting videos at least bi-monthly, and they're getting text message follow-ups. They're getting email follow-ups, and then they're getting invited to parties as well. So in the summertime, I do a movie theater where I rent it out and they come in. And then in the fall time, we've done pumpkin patch. We're doing the pie giveaway. But what we do is how we extract referrals at the events. This is genius. All of you should do this immediately. It's freaking awesome. We will do giveaways. And so every client that comes to the appreciation party, so let's think different baskets and stuff. Like maybe it's like summertime. Here's some water slide tickets. Here's Disneyland pass, or here's movie night or something, right? Get creative with it. And we'll do giveaways, and you can get people to sponsor it, your title, your escrow. For every client that comes, they get 1 ticket. For every referral they give me, they get 10 tickets. And so this is how you can rack up lots of referrals at the events. And then most importantly, when you're calling these people, it's just about making sure that you're asking for the business and adding value. So anniversary calls also are something we do with past clients. When we're calling for their anniversary, I have their value of their home pulled up. I have the down payment they made, and I have the return on investment calculated, their ROI, so that I can be part of them building wealth in the business. Not just a loan officer who got you in debt for the rest of your life, but look, you put down $20,000, the house is now worth over $200,000. Look at the return on your investment. Congratulations. Because again, when we're in escrow, they're always like, oh my gosh, I don't know if this is a good idea. And we're dragging them over the finish line, right? Like we're dragging them over the finish line. This is a good idea. I swear it's a good idea. Trust me, this works out for people. And we're being totally passionate about it, because it's not we want the commission, like we believe in this. And then 2 years later goes by, And they're like, oh my gosh, you know how smart I was for buying this house? You're like, dude, listen, bro, you were not going to buy that house. I talked you into buying that house. So we have to remind them this every single year. And unless you're there being a consultant for them and consulting them, not and advising them and not just quoting them, you're going to run into these issues. And I was talking with someone that is very large from the broker world, and we were talking about broker retail and this, that, and the other. Really smart guy, way smarter, way wealthier than me. And I said, here is the problem, and he totally agreed. The problem is some people weigh too much value on price. And some people have trained them to do that. Where some of us, we have weighed our entire lives on value. So those of you that feel like you have great price, because it's just a feeling, right? It depends on how many expenses you have. It depends on all kinds of things, which day the wind blows on, and how many people your client talked to, right? So you don't really have any control over price, but you have all the control over value. Make sure that if you're focusing on value, regardless of your price, whatever it is, how great it is, bad it is, whatever, then you're going to sell. So being prepared, not only for your referral partners, but for your past clients, adding value in that conversation.
JJ, how big of a believer are you in yearly reviews, and do you have a way that you do that?
Man, I'm a big believer in it because we were really good at it, and then, like many, we fell off the wagon on it, and was super disappointed. And so that's like literally one of the biggest pushes that we're doing right now, just getting back on track. And it's because it's a no-brainer conversation. My friend, one of my coaches in Impact, Lisa Wells, she has a 43% lead to close ratio. Lead to close ratio, the best of anyone that I know. And she hangs her hat on those and books those appointments out all the time. So she has an automated system. Basically her CRM is set up through triggers on texting and emailing and appointment setting just for those annual reviews. So I'd like to say I used to be great. I got off the wagon and I am full bore getting back on it now because they're easy value propositions to get leads.
Lisa asked if you're familiar with Kay McBride's tracker, and is yours similar?
I have no idea, but anything that tracks something is good, right? So I was fat because I never stepped on the scale. As soon as I stepped on the scale, I was like, oh my goodness, I should probably eat less and move more. So, man, leads, activities, all of that should be tracked. Financials, track.
Rick is asking, he's saying, actually commenting, killer scripting. Would love to get a summary of this. Does he have to join your coaching program for that?
No, buddy. I mean, you just get that. I'm sure you got the AI note taker on this thing. I'm one of those people. I don't write my scripts out. It's just hundreds of thousands of phone calls. So, guys, I started when I was 19. I'm 48 years old. I started out of a phone book. I made about 100 to 200 phone calls per day for the first 15 years of my career. So it's just repetition and it's the same shit. So like that's why I just want to encourage you all. I'm sure I like to do framework, and that's kind of why I gave you the framework on things. And then just be yourself. A reason it probably sounds so great is because it's naturally and it's genuine and it's me. So as long as you stay in the framework and you're just you and you're genuine, then people love that and will buy from you.
I have a question on open houses. I did them early on in my career. Again, just like you said, didn't like doing them. At some point, when I started doing more loans and didn't need to go anymore, I stopped doing them. But I think looking back, like if I had to go over, like start all over again, right? Like what would I do? That would be one of the things I would do. I'd get up every single day there was an open house and I'd go visit them. But what's your strategy? Because I know there's a lot of fear out there, right? And when I hear you talk, the one thing I see is I don't see any fear. And that's why you're able to call all these people and just get after it. Number one, you have the confidence, but you probably didn't way back when you started, but yet I don't think you feared rejection maybe as much as most people. So, two questions. One, what advice would you give people that have this fear, right? That's preventing them from doing it. And then two, going back to the open houses, in general, what's your tactic when you go in, right? I mean, oh, nice house, but what else?
Okay. Yeah, no, great one. So, all right. So I was rejected by everyone most of my growing up, including my parents. I mean, I was sent to all boys boarding school at 12 years old. I mean, so for me, it was like rejection was just a natural part of things. I thought, it took a lot of therapy to get past that. So I would argue that you all been rejected before in probably way more painful ways than some random person that has no like attachment to you. You know what I mean? So like, just know you've already persevered through that stuff. So that's number one. Number two is I had a larger fear around being broke. And so for me, literally, we lost everything. And so I had a higher fear about feeding my family and paying the bills than I did around being told no by some damn stranger. Did I have insecurities? Massive all the time, but like I had bigger fears and realized that I had already been persevered and rejected before. Not to mention, I think my wife rejected me like 25 times before she even said yes. So that is part of who we are. So you all have your stories. Remind yourself of those stories, then you go out. So what I would do is I would print out a list of all of my pre-approvals before I would go to an open house. I would create some open house kits and put them in the trunk of my car. Little water, little protein bar, something like that, whatever you want, a little tchotchke. And I would keep them in my car. And then I would put my kids in my car at the time, because they were awesome props, by the way. Kids are really, really good props. And I wouldn't go in there like I was a loan officer. So I would go in there with nothing other than this piece of paper. And I would walk right in and I would go, hey, I'm just going to take a look at the house real quick. I'll be right back. This looks beautiful. So I would look like I was busy or a realtor or a very motivated buyer. And so I would walk through the house, generally liking to look at the house. Now my daughter's 20. She wants to be in real estate. Shocker. But we would walk around, look at the house, have some fun together, talk about how great it was or how crappy it was and laugh about it, if it smelled funny, all that good stuff. And then on my way out, I would get my list and I'd say, hey, my name's JJ. I'm a really big lender in the area. I have a list of all of these people that are pre-approved. And what I like to do is help my business partners cruise out and see if any of these people are going to be a match. It looks like this house might match a few of my pre-approvals. So I appreciate you letting me look around. Does your loan officer do that for you on the weekends too? What do you think they say? Of course they don't. So then I let it go silent, or they'll say, yeah, yeah, full of crap, but okay. And I'll be like, that's awesome, man. That means you have a great lender. That's amazing. Well, here's the deal. I'm going to leave you my card. You know what? I actually stop at all of my referral partners and I drop these things off for them to help them out on the open houses. I have an extra one in my car. Before I go drop these off to them, let me go grab it for you. And then I go grab it out of my car. I bring it in and I give it to them. Meanwhile, all they're doing is thinking about, wow, my lender doesn't visit me, doesn't give me these gifts on the weekends, and he sure isn't out there looking for these houses on our pre-approvals. He's expecting me to do all the work. And then I would say, then after that, it's just fortune in the follow-up. Then it's like, hey, I loved coming out there. Thank you so much. It looks like, we may or may not have a couple clients for your situation, but I'd love to sit down with you and show how it is that I'm able to help my agents make another $100,000 per year. Now, when I say that statement, after they just saw me in their open house with a list of pre-approvals, gifting them a really cool, useful, helpful, thoughtful thing on the weekend, do you think that makes it way easier for them to believe that I probably have a way to make them another 100 grand? And the answer is yes. So that was my rinse and repeat over and over again. And I would also map it out so I knew which open houses were happening, which ones were going on, so that I can get through them as quickly as possible so that I can get back and watch the Eagles football game. Great question.
All right, JJ, thank you so much for your time, and everybody listening. I really appreciate it. I also want to just thank our sponsor, Ethos Lending. And we're going to be doing these every single month and trying to add value to our tribe of loan officers all across the country. So thank you guys all so much for joining.
Thanks, Dino.